Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Zwift Community Live broadcast of the Zwift Academy's London Classics women's race. They're going to be doing 6 laps out on the London Classic course, actually in conjunction with the women's Pro Tour race actually over in London. It's be going on today. The women are just getting out on course in the A category. There's also a C category race that is going down today in this race. They're going to be doing 6 laps. Real quick on the race description. The Potential Ride London Classic brings the world's best women cyclists to the streets of London to race a 5.5 kilometer circuit for the highest prize purse of the Women's World Tour, actually. Huge race. Now it's your turn to race. Race the same course as the pro women at the same time. Zwift Academy's race will complete 6 laps of the London Classic course, and they're actually starting out their way toward the course right now. Everyone who finishes the race will be eligible to win one of several gifts from Canyon SRAM Racing. This is a great prep for Zwift Academy, which officially starts on September 1st. Now, Zwift Academy is a women's competition within Zwift that they compete for a pro contract, actually, which Leah Thorvaldsen won last year. Now, it's not just all about the pro contract, though. It is also about women bettering themselves together as a community out on Zwift. And we actually have a really great story, actually, all about that we'll show you guys from Sonia Whiteman, actually, a rider profile that we'll get a little bit later as we get into the racing and a little further down into the race results today. We do have the C category just taking off as well, but we do have the A category women here getting on to the London course here, just making their way out on, it looks like past me in the background here, actually, for, well, not past me actually in the background, we're on the sprint course here, but we do have Katrina Weiss here from, it looks like riding ZA, it looks like there. She actually, I believe, rides this for CIS Cycling. We also have Janice Denning here and Carrie Kona Bear, all riders to definitely be watching out with. Katrine watching out for all past CVR World Cup racers, actually, who earned some solid spots to get there, actually. So make sure to be watching out for those women. As you can see, none of the women here are going to be wearing their in-game team jerseys. They're all wearing the Potential Ride London kit in game because it is a PRL race today. We do have S. Stratman up toward the front here. C. Scott, it looks like Bill Billingsley as well. I did see Sonia Whiteman in here as well from Team PTZ. Be watching out for her. I believe we also have I. Jansen here. Definitely one to be watching out for out of the Netherlands, I believe, for a win. I did bring up a few of the past results for these racers, actually. Carrie Kona Bear here, who is in the race right now, past CVR racer. 77 races out on Zwift, riding for the BRT team. And she, as you can see, has been killing it lately. Oh my goodness. I'm seeing nothing but golds right now. I'm actually going to open up zwiftpower.com for all of you right now so you can see exactly what her past results have been as of the, I think, even this last month or so. Carrie Kona Bear here. Here's her avatar right now, hanging out at the back, 158 beats per minute right now, hanging on the Cervelo S5. Be watching out for her. But in the past few weeks here, just you can see it kissed ladies only back in the 727 just 2 days ago. Take a W in XRS La Feminine. Lots of XRS races, actually, all the way back to, it looks like, the 11th. Took a win in the C category as well. Looks like she got an upgrade, actually, since then. In the Odivas race, she took a 3rd place in the A category. That's maybe one that we want to click on real quick for the Team ODZ. And taking a 3rd place amongst that, who is the one to watch out for, that she may be Roxanne Phillipson as well as Corrine Toledano. I'm not seeing those racers, though, actually in the race today, I believe. So maybe not going to be watching out for them for the win, but definitely a lot of women out on Zwift, actually, as of recently jumping into these races. I was seeing right before the race start here that these women were all commenting that this is one of the most well-attended races, actually, as of recently, for the women's category. So I believe the Zwift Academy is doing its job well here and really starting to encourage the women to get out on course and start racing a little bit. Also, the CVR World Cup, I think with another World Cup coming up, there might be some women out there wanting to maybe prove that they've got what it takes to be in that race and getting maybe an invite or even get warmed up for if there is going to be a race in coming up. So we are heading into the first little climb into the classic course. Now we are starting to see up in at 5.1 watts per kilogram coming from F. Kessel's here. And then we're taking a right-hand turn onto the classic course in just a second here. I'm going to open up zwiftpower.com for the live results as they do head out onto the classic course, and that's going to give us an idea of exactly who all of these women are. It actually gives you live updates the entire time for the race as they head on out onto the course here. So looking through, I'm going to see as they start to kind of show themselves and what they have for an effort out there. I am seeing that it is Fleur Kessels here on the front here, starting to walk away a little bit. Actually has a 2-second gap already over the rest of the field. Katrina following very closely there. Katrina Weiss, CVR World Cup contender, 3.2 watts per kilogram. She actually took that spot by taking second place to Carrie Conabare actually back in the race, and I believe it was in early June, late May, early June. They both competed in that race and both won a spot over into London actually in order to race in the CVR World Cup for London. It looks like these two did cause a little bit of a break here with Jansen now from the PTZ team going to the front out of the Netherlands. A Bullock then out of the USA. Stratman there as well. And it looks like these five now are starting to work together. They're going to have to really keep the pace as high as possible as we do have Neo here coming out of Japan. Absolutely flying. Must be Anna Neo is what that means. Attacks Neo here. J Real now also hammering away 3.5 watts per kilogram, trying to set a steady pace at the front now in order to bring back the girls that are up front here. But 3.6 here from the PTZ rider. We'll give her a ride on, and looking like the gap is continuing to go out here. This might be the initial break between these. Is it five riders? Five riders, excuse me. Five riders, but Neo looks to be closing the gap down very quickly. They're 5.1 watts per kilogram, but 166 beats per minute. In the lead group now, though, it looks like a second place for the Zwift Academy Women's Sprints, actually, for Fleurs, actually. And then back in May 16th, she was doing the Zwift Academy's Women's Workout VO2 Max workout, as well as the Zwift Academy Queen of the Mountain workout, a third and a third in that. Now, those are not official races, actually. Those are more of workout rides that the Zwift Academy is putting on that you can jump into for the women that will be competing or participating in the Zwift Academy. Now, it is not limited to those women, but it is open to any women that would like to jump into them. But it tends to be a training program and group rides that are leading into the actual official launch of the competition for the Zwift Academy. So, but no, not much racing though coming from. It looks like Fleur's actually out on course here. Fleur Kessels here with XRS. It looks like ZTR race actually back on May 11th was able to pull off a 6th place. Was that amongst all the women? I believe it was separated in categories there. So a 6th place amongst all the women there. So maybe watch out for a bettering of a result with this attack into this front group. Has made a strong front group, but Carrie Conabare's got something to say about that. 168 beats per minute. Jonas Denny is there as well from Vision, as well as Jay Real now making their way to the front. This is a large chase group actually, keeping it right around 4.0 watts per kilogram, 4.1 now on the front. It looks like 3.5 to 4.0 is what they're staying very steady with at the front end of this group and keeping this break within their sights. But with 5 in this break, though, it's going to be difficult because they definitely have the numbers. Now 6 with Neil getting in there, coming out of Japan, 139 beats per minute, letting that heart rate drop a little bit there. Stratman now 4.0 on the front, not wanting the group of Conabare Holmichel, as well as it looks like Kay Russell here riding for CIS Cycling as well. So 3.1, 4.0, they're definitely watching on the right-hand side of the course there the numbers that are being thrown down. And that is one of the unique things about Zwift is the entire time while you're racing, you are able to see what the effort is of the riders nearby and able to actually match what that power is and what kind of effort you need to throw down in order to close things down. Carrie now going to the front now, actually 5.2 watts per kilogram. This is a serious effort. She's got a gap actually over Giannis now, about 6 meters, 7 meters. There is no draft on her any longer, and she is actually making an effort here right now in order to close that gap down much quicker. I don't think I think she's actually very aware at this point that this gap may not come back. It is a race of meters at all times, and if they do not close this down right now, they might never see the front end of that race. And I think she was kind of getting maybe a little bit annoyed or a little bit of like, what is going on here? These other women are not all the women in this group are actually taking a poll in order to bring this back. I'm going to just have to take it on myself and go. She's got a 2-second gap over Giannis, and the rest now pumping him to 4.45 watts per kilogram at times there. Now Katrina, though, seeing that, actually makes her way to the front and kicks a little bit. Does not want Carrie to get back into the group. It looks like 28 miles per hour. And now Carrie here, now 3 seconds back. Gonna have to close this down. 175 beats per minute, though. So not sure if it's going to be happening, as I think she made the attempt. Now she's in no woman's land, absolutely on her own. And that is always the risk. If you go and try to close the gap down and you're unable to do so, you can find yourself out there just burning energy while the rest of the group that is trying to chase you down is working together and bringing you back in. Jay Real here now out of the USA, 179 beats per minute, as you can see. And moving on over to the past results, Jay Real actually does not have any past results out on Zwift, that at least that are listed amongst the racers, actually. So watch out for her. She's maybe a dark horse, a wild card here in the race now, as we don't have any past results from her. We are seeing Holm Mitchell, excuse me, out of the US of A. It looks like 34 races out on Zwift. Stephanie actually coming out of the United States here, 34 races. Recently got an upgrade to the A category, actually. Solid result there for her in the Odivas race back on the 15th of July. In the Zwift Academy Women's Sprints, she got a 6th, it looks like, for that group ride. She did a WBR flat race, actually, took a 3rd, and then a Divas race on the June 17th, actually, with a 2nd place. So Divas Ladies race only, also a 1st place back on 520, back on May 20th. So definitely a lot of podiums for Jay Real, but with an 8-second gap now, maybe playing things fairly patient right now, but I'm not sure if she's going to see the front end of this group again. Carrie made that effort, tried to get out there to the lead. 8 seconds, though, it continues to go out. Now has to sit in a little bit and allow her energy to rebuild, and then kick it back into the climb into Trafalgar Square here in just a moment now. But now it's out to 11 seconds. This next climb, though, the only climb that is out on course on this first lap of 6, is most definitely going to be the moments where the racers that are behind here are going to be able to close things up. And I have a feeling a few of the riders that are up front here are going to be doing a little bit of attacking of themselves, actually, making sure that those riders are not coming back to them. Kessel's now here out of the Netherlands. Jansen's there as well. The 2 riders here out of the Netherlands actually riding out of that country, looking super strong now. Looks like Katrina Weiss, though, very, very smartly was able to grab onto a few wheels and go with the leaders. Get a little bit of advantage now, it looks like, hanging on to some of these wheels here. Now, it looks like Neo there out of Japan, 129 beats per minute. Maybe it'll be one to be watching out for here today. 6.1 watts per kilogram coming from Jansen. Where's the attacks now? 6.2 here coming from Bullock. This is going to be a move to watch out for. 175 beats per minute up and out of the saddle now. Katrina Weiss now following very closely. Kessel's there, 4.4. Stratman able to hang on. Jansen now at the back here playing smart. Now 181 beats per minute, though. Watch out for this. This is going to be maybe one of the breaking points. Coming from Team PTZ, I'm going to go ahead and open up her past results. It looks like 46 races out on Zwift, coming out of the Netherlands here. Took a 12th in the Zwift Academy's women's climbing workout. A 3rd, though, back on July 15th in the Odivas race, actually. So actually, that's interesting. We do have a lot who have shown up for that race. A 4th place there we saw earlier for, it looks like, Stephanie Holm Mitchell. Maybe be able to get back on terms at the front of this race and get that same result ahead of Jansen, but it looks like Jansen now maybe not able to hang on through the climb here. 284 watts or so, 186 beats per minute, almost back on terms, able to grab onto that wheel and get that draft, though. That is the most important thing in an elite group right now. It looks like to hold on and make sure that you can go with the moves. We do have Stratman here and Bullock really starting to put the attacks on at the front end of the race here. Katrina Weiss, 3.6 watts per kilogram now, it looks like here. 25 seconds. Not sure they're going to see the front end of this race again. This is your lead group of 6 now, and it's gone out to 27 seconds. So the rest are racing for 7th place, I believe. There may be a few who are in amongst this lead group, though, who are absolutely suffering. Jana Stenning, though, absolutely demolishing herself, just ruining herself. 185 beats per minute on the front end of this race right now. That's right up into the max of what she can handle, actually, I believe. Now we are seeing, it looks like Stephanie now making her way to the front, 168 beats per minute, trading poles now, but at the front end of the race, they continue 3.9 or so, 4.1 watts per kilogram, but with no heart rate monitor on. I'm not positive about the race organizer's rules. Usually a heart rate monitor is required, but I'm not sure about the ZA race here today. It's not in the information that I can see, so definitely going to be watching out for the race results. I'm not seeing anything actually in the race description that says that a heart rate monitor is required, so it might be okay for the day on that. Going to go ahead and open this up over at the Zwiftpower.com, and nothing in the race information there either. So I think that she should be okay for the day for the results here. Looking through now, Bullock now 3.5 watts per kilogram, hanging on to Jansen. 29 seconds now. I'm not sure they're going to see them again as really gone out. And it's like we said so many times before, it's always just a race of meters. As you can see, Carrie went for it. She almost had the wheel, but Katrina Weiss heads to the front, absolutely throws down into about 5 watts per kilogram, makes sure the pace goes up, and Carrie is left out in no women's land, TTing solo, and has to go back to the group now. And now it is out to 35 seconds. They will not see, I do not believe they will see the front end of this race again. But Johnson, though, at 175 beats per minute, how long can she hold on to that kind of a pace, though? That's going to be the question, because they are definitely absolutely demolishing themselves right now for some of the women at the front end of this race. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can find some of the past results here for Jansen, because I want to see where her heart rate actually maxes out for. I'm not actually seeing, here she is actually, excuse me, from PTZ, 46 races. So, and for a max heart rate, I'm going to see if we can actually bring that into the view here just a second. We are seeing it is 198, 196. So she definitely was up into a threshold right now, 173 or so. If you max out about 196 or so, she's about tempo hanging out around tempo right now. And we did see her go up in that 186 though, over threshold though for a little while, but then grabbed right back on. Katrina, they're 176. I'm pretty sure she doesn't beat out too much higher. So these women are definitely throwing down everything they've got, except for Neo here, I think, who is sitting in and just waiting for that moment to pounce here. As you can see, her heart rate super low at this point. Jay Neo here for Team Japan, actually. And we're looking 164 races out on Zwift. She took a 5th in the XRS Hot Route, a 3rd in the WBR Flat Race, and the KISS Ladies Only race actually back on July 28th, actually just yesterday. Took a win actually in that. And then it looks like that was up against Alicia Billingsley, actually, who's in the C category there. She took a win also in the WBR 4-lap. Looks like this racer actually is really ramping up for the Zwift Academy. Let's go ahead and look here, and as long as all of the power numbers are verified, we also just have to be straight about that, of course. She is on, it looks like, a smart trainer. But definitely a ton of races though as of recently, and there might be a little bit of a clue in to her really aiming at the Zwift Academy here that's going to launch on September 1st. You do see this is her past results here: XRS Hot Route, WBR Flat Lap 3rd place, then a win, a whole lot of W's there. 3rd place back on the Zwift eFondo presented by Cycling Tips, actually, amongst the women. So definitely be watching out for Neo here for a late attack, actually, amongst these women in the A category. So the A category is not the only category going on out there right now. We also have the C category race, actually. They're actually making their way on to their second lap here in just a moment here. We do have up at the front, it will be El Kamle out of Great Britain. H. Cartwright's there as well, actually coming out of the UK. Any relation, I wonder, to Tim there. But then we do have A. Lavang coming out of the US of A. Super international field. P. Patty here out of New Zealand, as well as Team Moose hanging out of the US of A. We do have also Sarah Jane Watmore. Good to see Sarah out there on course, hammering it out. It looks like with Laney now 18 seconds back out in no man's land, trying to chase them down for a solo TT. But this is your lead group in the C category now as they make their way into their second lap out on the Classics course here. And then back with the leaders though in the A category. So interesting though, real quick actually, that it's similar. With a lead group here of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 women in the C category, and in the A category as well, we do have 6 off the front right now as they make their way over to the climb into the square now. Katrina now up at the front. They're all working fairly well together. 2.5, 4.0 watts per kilogram continually at the front. They really do not want to see the chase group bring them back. The question is actually, with working so well together here, but really having that chase group in mind now, Kona Bear and the rest there, they seem to really not allowing the gap to go too far out. It hasn't gone out to anything that's insurmountable just yet. And if they get organized at the front of this group, actually, they may be able to pull this back in. I mean, 30 seconds is a huge gap out on Zwift, but if they're consistent at that 3.0, 4.5, 4.0, 3.0 to 4.0 watts per kilogram at the front of this race, if they have that kind of effort in their legs and they're willing to work together, they may be able to bring this back in, because I think some of the women at the front end of this race, as you can see, Stephanie here, 167. We also see 154 here coming from Joubert. We also see Janice Denny up in that 184. They're definitely working hard, but a few of the women here, Kay Russell, 156. We're seeing Kona Bear, 154 here. Jay Reel now, 173, so maybe up in the pretty high heart rate there for Jay Reel hanging on. But a few of the women here, I think, sitting in and waiting for the moment to go, or maybe reserving a little bit of energy for later on in the race when maybe some of those riders that are up front do fall off from the pace that was set here. Now we are seeing Katrina Weiss kicking it on this uphill, and as you guys and gals know out there, when gravity comes into the race, that is always when you can make up the most time out on course. We are seeing maybe a little bit of tax here with a little separation now on the up here. Kona Bear now making her way to the front, as well as Stephanie now 4.9 watts per kilogram. Maybe not wanting to hang out in amongst this group for too long, as a lot of the women maybe not, or a few of the women maybe not taking the polls that she wants them to. So maybe taking a little bit of a dig, trying to drop a few off. Now Denny now just hanging out 185 beats per minute. But now we are seeing Joubert now as well, 4.3 watts per kilogram. Sonia Whiteman hanging in there as well, 175, just hanging on at this point, looks like. And it looks like as the group gets into a straight line like that, you know that the suffering is real. They're just looking for the wheel that's right in front of them. Now it backs off a little bit at the front, and now an attack coming through here. We are seeing a rider flying right on through. Looks like Russell now making her way to the front now, 2.3 watts per kilogram, 159 beats per minute. 24 miles per hour, all back together. Nobody getting dropped off just yet. Actually, Denny now, 186. And you can see Stephanie here from the ZA as well, out of Germany, just trying to hang on. 1 second is the difference, but that is huge actually out on Zwift. 11 meters, a race of meters now to hang on. There are the leaders. They just went by on the left-hand side. 52 seconds up. It's almost gone out in a minute. Continues to go up. I'm not sure they're going to see them again. Now we're going to see Denny here trying to claw her way back to the group right now. Every time that they've come through the climb into the square, it has been 1 or 2 just barely hanging on. We do see Stephanie here. GG, game over. Throws the hands up in the air. It looks like has to take a little bit of a break here. Now we got 3 seconds for Denny now. Going to be in no man's land. Unable to hang on. And Stephanie just relentless at the front. Sees that she's falling off and really turning the screws, making sure that Giannis is not getting back on terms. Able to drop one more off and not have to battle it out for the sprint with her. So definitely no love lost between the group out here, boys and girls. These women are just taking every advantage that they can, throwing down for this race in the ZA Women's PRL race out on the Classic course today. We do have our social media integrations out there today. So I'm going to go ahead and bring a few of this in, coming in. Mr. Jonathan Navid, actually, good to see you actually chilling out on the race broadcast. This is a great tweet, actually. Great to see a virtual Go Zwift. I'm over in that picture too. It's a virtual Go Zwift and real at RideLondon Women's Classic running at the same time. Watch out, Zwift Community Live and BBC's Sport. That's awesome. Wow, it looks like it's a little bit more rain out on the London course in real life today. Maybe it'll start raining out on Zwift. We'll have to see, but nice tweet out to us. I really appreciate it. The Go Ladies coming from Megan Herzog. Thanks a lot for the comment over there. Ingrid Margus is also in there as well. I wanted to race as well, but I had some problems with my laptop. The next time, I hope to see you out there, Ingrid. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you very much. Beth La York hanging out. Zwift TV in the house. Good to see you hanging out here. Zwift Watch TV. Come on, Chase Group, work together. Close that gap, Lulana. Anthony is saying. And go, Carrie. Good luck. All coming from Beth as well. Nice, Sonia and Jonas. Go, go, go. And go, Sonia, and all the other racers coming from Zwift Community Live. Thank you for all the comments over at the Facebook. Really appreciate them very, very much. Speaking of Sonia, though, I wanted to, real quick, as things calm down, we got some establishment in the race now. We kind of have an idea of where things are playing out so far. As we wait for the next attacks to take place, this is a great story about Zwift Academy, actually, that really highlights what it is all about. The story of Sonia and how she's interacted with Zwift Academy is definitely one that's pretty touching. I really enjoyed watching it. So check this out. It's not just all about the pro contract. It is also about women bettering themselves together as a community through the power of bicycles and the Zwift community through the Zwift Academy.
When I started on Zwift, kids, they were so excited. They're coming and watching. What's Mommy doing? Look, she's on the screen. That's Mommy. Which one? The one in that T-shirt. So they were really excited. There's a yellowfish. Can you see the yellowfish? Aye. Can you see? I didn't do any riding outside. I didn't do any competitions. I hardly, I've never been on a road bike outside on the road. And only then, once I got the confidence on the turbo trainer, that I got some power in my legs and I feel confident on the road bike, then I went outside. Joining the Zwift Academy will get me to do that number of exercises in a certain time for me to be able to then, I can sign up to do the triathlon. I signed for a few triathlons. I started first duathlon and then I did 3 local triathlons. And you progress because you keep cycling on Zwift and you get better and better, so that will reflect in your outside ride. It's like cycling outside but not having to concentrate on the cars, on the wind and the temperature. You controlling that yourself. Sometimes you think you sign for things and then you go, you get bored of it and you never finish things. But I think having the goal of with everyone else to finish something and you see their progress, your progress, just people encourage each other and they go, yes, it's hard, but come on, you can do it, just do your best. Because it's not just the physical side to boost your confidence in anything else you do, not just cycling.
You love it, don't you?
I love it.
And as you can see, amazing story there coming from Sonia Whiteman, who is actually out on course right now, actually hammering away. We can see her past results actually here from ZwiftPower.com that as of recently, she's actually been out there racing quite a bit. Actually, Sonia Whiteman, United Kingdom, coming 59 races out on Zwift. KISS ladies race only actually took a win, actually, XRS La Feminine. Actually, being somebody newer to the world of racing, looks like her results have gotten better and better and better, actually, as of recently. So very cool to see that for Sonia, and good to see her out on course here. She is a part of the main chase group that Carrie Conabear is in here. Actually, just got dropped off, actually, I believe, as they were coming around the last corner here. But good to see Sonia out here hammering away. Now it is a race of truth in a solo TT against herself out there, battling it out with the women, as well as Jonas there, who's at 178 beats per minute. And the effort that these women are going to be putting out in order to chase down each other when they get into this solo 2T effort is absolutely amazing. 178 beats per minute here, coming right now from Jonas standing out of Canada now. Sonia Whiteman also here, coming out of the UK, absolutely killing it here from the PTZ team. Carrie Conabear now, BRT, Billingsley now as well. We are seeing Kay Russell as well as Hubert and Michael hammering away out on course right now. I am seeing a tweet here coming over from Scotty Weiss himself, actually. Good to see him tuning in. Of course he's tuning in, as Katrina is in the lead group right now. Actually, speaking of this, before we bring this tweet in, they are just climbing, actually, out into the square one more time here through the hall now, and we are seeing Bullock as well as Kessels, and now Jansen and Stratman. Neo just barely able to hang on, 3.1 watts per kilogram. It looks like, maybe holding back a whole lot and just letting them know that she's got the effort no matter what here. 4.9 now, kicking one more time, making sure nobody goes much of anywhere. Katrina with an attack on the front here, and this is what it looks like for her live right now. Scotty Weiss, the women are killing it. Watch at Z Community Live at CVO World Cup at Weiss Katrina. And that is Weiss right there on the right-hand side of that picture, watching the group intently. It was about 2 miles ago, it looks like, or so that was taken. So thanks a lot for the tweet. I really appreciate that. If you'd like to tweet at us as well, at Z Community Live, we'll go ahead and bring in your live action of your racing, riding, or just comments on the race or Zwift, or any kind of questions you might have about it. I do see that there are a lot of people over at the Mixer channel with a lot of questions, it looks like, out here. And it does look like Living Storm, how's it going there? New Perennial, good to have you here as well. Yes, this is real, actual, well, this is a virtual world in which riders are actually riding. Sometimes we are able to get on board riders. Make sure to contact me if you are out there racing and you would like to be on board with us in be able to show your live experience of your racing. We can do that. And we'll go ahead and bring that right on into the broadcast so that we can show everybody how much you're suffering if you're interested in the world seeing how much you're suffering out on course here. So Jansen here now right along with Weiss, and it looks like Bullock and Kessels. A minute two back, it will be Billingsley as well as Joubert, and then it will be Russell and then Michael, all a part of the chase group. Cara Conabear is in there as well from the Bolt Racing team. I think there might be a little frustration in Carrie right now. 148 beats per minute. Her heart rate is fairly low, but was unable to make it with that lead group, and there is definitely the same kind of tactics in racing in Zwift as there is in real life, because if you do not make a lead group, even if you're a super strong rider, if that lead group has enough strong riders in it that can keep at least a higher pace than what you can hold solo, and on the front end of their group over and over and over again, they can push higher than what you can do in order to bring them back. You're not going to see them again. And I think Carrie, maybe, as you saw earlier, was able to bring back a little bit of that gap, but she came within 2 seconds, went full-on nuclear, 186 beats per minute, didn't want to completely sacrifice her entire race, and had to go back to the group here. You're seeing 161 here coming from Russell now. Conabear there, 150. 169 from Holmichael, as well as Bullock now here. Now this is actually at the front group, actually. But moving back here, Billingsley now 179. So as you can see, Carrie there, maybe one of the favorites amongst this group. But if it comes down to a sprint, she might not have the sprint, though, as that's what matters, is the 200 meters actually to the line usually amongst a group like this. 13.6 miles in now, 33:21 total for the race, and I believe they're going to have 3 laps to go. Let me just double check over at zwiftpower.com real quickly, but I believe they're going to have 3 laps to go out there. 37K total. I wish I would have gone into metric system actually out here today. I'll have to double check our first Double check our first 23.4 miles, 23.4 miles. Yep, so they're going to have three to go out on course. So it is going to be up at the front now. No attacks just yet. Carrie actually with attack, though. This is actually a serious attack, I think. I think she's done hanging out in this group, or at least allowing anybody to hang out on the wheels that doesn't want to make any kind of serious work go down here. Now, a little bit of an attack, gets a 2-second gap, fades then very quick. Was that just for the sprint jersey, I wonder? Beth York with a 13:66. That's the best time, actually, amongst the racers right now. Beth off the back, I think she just went for the sprint and wanted to have that effort up on the board. And as you can see, 14:10 for the leaders. So the sprint not going to be what matters for the finish, but definitely a little bit of kudos just for having it. I think Carrie just was going for that sprint time. 13:95 got a second, so it looks like Beth is going to be hanging on to that for the duration today. There is York, actually, I believe, out on course here. 1.2 watts per kilogram. Hammering away right now. So now we are seeing I. Jansen, Weiss, Bullock, Stratman as well. This is a couple of racers that we haven't gone actually over what their past results are. Stratman, actually, the USA, I'm not seeing any past results for her in the racing over at ZwiftPower.com. So another wild card to be watching out for today. A Bullock here from the PTZ team, actually. Looks like out of the United States. 6 races out on Zwift, so newer to the world of Zwift racing. Took a third back on, looks like March 11th in the Zwift Women's Week. And then we are seeing a first place, though, way back on 9/22/2016, actually. So she hasn't raced since then, it looks like, in the Silicon Code Women's Race by PTZ with a solid 3.64 watts per kilogram. Took that W there. Took a second in EVR Watopia 4 laps, actually, back on September 14th, 2016. So almost been a full year since she's been racing out on Zwift. A Bullock here out of the USA. Obviously, the Zwift Academy is starting to bring some people out of the woodwork here, and all of a sudden, the races and the rides are starting to swell as they're looking forward to that competition that does launch on September 1st this year. Really, this is a game. Delinsky, yes, it is a game. How's it going there, Oryx Taken 32? Good to see you. Michael Carl, nobody seems to know much here. Are power-ups allowed? Does anyone know? I believe it's a full, there was nothing in the rules. Scotty, Zwift put things together, so I believe that it's anything goes. That's W. I'm pretty sure if they are in the race now, do not quote me. I'm not a race official. I am not a race official. I'm going to say that one more time. I am not a race official. So, but usually when Zwift puts a race on, it is similar to the KISS race. The KISS race rules, as in if it's in the game, it's allowed. And if Zwift's putting together, I would assume that they would allow everything that is in their game to be used as W. So power-ups, I believe, will be allowed. Now, I hope that I didn't just mess things up big time. But if I were in there, if I were in the race, I'd be using the power-up because nobody said that. So, Beth York not racing. That's another York. BJ Alfonso. Thanks a lot, BJ, for the confirmation there. Stratman now, as you can see here, Bullock as well as Weiss now, 177 beats per minute. Kessels is there as well. Jansen is there. Stratman now off the back, actually, was in amongst the group and now actually on the front. That was interesting. We saw a gap there for just a second. Now she's right back out with it. It was a little bit of a time discrepancy there, I think, in the game. They're going to take this left-hand turn into the uphill climb now, and I think this is going to be another deciding moment. There's going to be 2.5 laps to go, 2.5 laps to go. Stratman now dropping her power there for just a second, making her way back into the group, waiting, it looks like, for a little bit of a reprieve now. Up at the front now, here we go. We're going to have the climbing starting now, as we do see Kessel's now 3.2 watts per kilogram, Stratman now 3.4, Bullock now 3.7, 171 beats per minute, Johnson there 175, Bullock now 171, now 6.3 watts per kilogram coming from the American rider, actually. Looking over her shoulder now, we do see Weiss now closing that down, 6.6 here coming from Katrina now, 181 beats per minute, Bullock now 7.4 trying to hang on, Kessel's now trying to go right along with her, Jonas is there as well, every single single lap. She struggled over this section. Now Stratman falling off, Neo as well. This is a serious attack with just 2 laps to go. Katrina Weiss throwing down. Bullock able to hang on. Kessels is there as well, 3.5. Now it's 5 seconds back though. Will she be able to get back? Johnson now out of the Netherlands, 180 beats per minute. Now we are seeing Stratman coming right on by with 4.9 watts per kilogram, closing it down very quickly, 28 miles per hour. Neo now 145, just hanging out, saying not going anywhere, girls, just yet. Closed it all down. Bullock's here now at the front, still trying to cause that gap to go. It is 13 meters back to Johnson, but they're all back on a wheel somewhere. Nobody's gone anywhere just yet. It was definitely a moment of truth though for a few of the riders, I think, to try and hang on. Katrina definitely letting herself be known at the front of this race. Ginger Citizen, they're absolutely hilarious. No, these are not AI, Jack of the Berry. We're getting a ton of questions, actually. So many questions that really we should just throw this out there really quickly. We have 250 people watching live over at the Mixer channel. I want all you guys to know exactly, guys and gals, to know exactly what's going on. This is a women's race, specific race. As an introduction to the Zwift Academy, this Prudential Ride London race out on the London course that's going on in conjunction with the Women's Pro Tour race, actually, that's going on in real life over in London right now. But these women are all on trainers or smart trainers with actual power being communicated into this world right now to power these avatars forward. That's real wattage, real heart rates, and real RPMs that you see above me actually right now. Those flags on the far right hand side of the screen are actually where those women are from that are battling out from all over the world. So that is what's happening right now, and we're going to do a quick little ban. Anything like that at all, Fire Skull, is definitely goodbye. So real quickly, here is what you are seeing out on Zwift right now. Real efforts, real bikes, real women out on course right now, absolutely killing it. We actually have another little social media shout out here coming from Team PTZ. This is one of the coolest graphics I've ever seen, actually. And nice job there, nice shout out at Z Community Live. Go Team PTZ laters, Ing and Sonia. Every woman is wonder. Absolutely great graphic made there. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that coming from Team PTZ. The Wonder Women are out on course, and PTZ still hanging in the lead group now with Johnson now coming out of the Netherlands. So still a lead group here of 6 women, unable to break things apart now in the A category. It looks like Carrie Conenberg did make another little dig, but unable to get away here. 155 or so beats per minute, and the lead group still though away by 130, and they continue to grab more and more time. They do have a lap and a half to go, or actually, excuse me, about a lap and 3/4 to go. They're just starting their 5th of 6th laps out on course here today. In the C category, though, there has been a little bit of a drop-off of a few riders here, a few riders getting away. A. Levang right along with H. Cartwright, and now it looks like Sarah Jane Watmore, as well as Comley and Team Moose, have been able to drop off P. Patty, who was with them a little bit earlier, out of not the New Zealand, excuse me, I made a mistake earlier, coming out of Australia, actually, here. So now it looks like we do have this lead group then of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 riders. Sarah Jane just trying to hang on, though. 4.8 watts per kilogram, 175 beats per minute as they're about to head into their last 2 laps here. She's going to have to grab back onto this wheel now. 4.3 watts per kilogram, 178 beats per minute. Comley now at the back, 3.2. Team Moose now, 3.9. Levang, the one who's turning the screws at the front end of this race here. Ace Cartwright going right along with her. They do have a little bit of a gap. You have to be within 5 meters of the wheel in front of you to get the draft. There is draft in the game, just like in real life. So if you hold on to that wheel in front of you, you have to put out less watts, less power to hold on, let that heart rate come down. And you can see here, cart rate, 2.8 watts per kilogram, 2.9. We are seeing as well Team Moose, Comley, and now we are seeing Watmore able to grab onto that wheel. It looks like all back together in the C category. Patty here now out in No Women's Land, hammering away, 15.8 miles in, trying to make her way up the climb through the hall. Now Phelan is there as well out in No Women's Land. Laney here now, it looks like, and then we do have Hughes. All these women that have been dropped off from the lead group now do not have anybody to work with, so it's just going to be a battle to the line against themselves with crazy high heart rates, looking for the best times that they possibly can. 176, 159, a little bit of a, it looks like feather power up here coming for Patty as she makes her way up toward the square. Back into the A category here now, as we do see Kessel's now up at the front with Stratman now as well. Weiss now, Jansen. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the heart rates here. Neil here, 120 beats per minute. Whew. This is definitely the rider to be watching out for today. Now we are seeing Katrina Weiss 175 beats per minute. Stratman now no heart rate on. Johnson 167. Bullock is there as well, 162. Kessel's now up at the front, 167. They all got about 10 or 20 beats to work with or so. Now they're going to take this left-hand turn into the climb. Let's see if anybody's able to hang on or get dropped off through this next section of the course. It's been the deciding place every time out on the Prudential Ride London Classic course. And I think this is not going to be any exception over the top of the square here. Each time they've definitely been attacking. And we do see a couple more comments coming through here. Pat O'Neill saying, "Yo, dog, I heard you like Zwift, so I put a commercial for Zwift that you can watch while watching the race and Zwifting." Pat O'Neill, there are... Pat, I've heard that comment from you a few times. We've got 250 people over at the Mixer channel who have never seen anything about Zwift whatsoever and are like, what the heck is going on? Are you playing a game? Do you have a controller in your hand? What's going on here? So we definitely want to show them the best example that I have is either Live Racers or that awesome little Zwift promo that they put together. It does a really good job of showing everybody what Zwift is and what it's all about. So I think it's a good way actually for them to see what's going on. It actually does it very, very well. I also am able to tell them what's happening on the right hand side of the screen, but there's nothing like seeing a real rider on a real bike with Zwift in front of them, showing them, look, this is actually a real effort with real watts and a real heart rate. So, yo, dog, I think it's probably a good idea, Pat O'Neill. So, Zwift Community Live is commenting, Neil is a machine. Lou, Launa, Anthony, definitely a killer machine. And she is going to be one to be watching out for, I believe. The attacks are on now. You can see here, Katrina Weiss now 3.1 watts per kilogram with Bullock now 3.3. Jansen there as well, able to make the lead group. Kessel's now Neil, though, off the back, 143 beats per minute, 144. Maybe just a low max heart rate. Let's go ahead and look through her past results, though, real quickly and see if she has, what's her max heart rate? That's going to be the question here. 164 races out on Zwift, as we saw earlier. Real quickly, let's go ahead and see, where does she max out at? Definitely has a lot to work with here. We're seeing 200, 194 beats per minute, maybe. You know, we might have to have a double check on all of that, or just a crazy, stupid, strong racer out on Zwift. One of the winners of the ZA coming up here, perhaps. So watch out for Neil. Or we're going to see if there is any of double check coming in from the Zada. But I'm not going to want to make too many assumptions here. 123 beats per minute, solid. 1.7, 2.1 watts per kilogram. Watch out for Neo for the win today here. Going full on. It looks like robot style, maybe just a little bit, but we can only make presumptions here. So Kessel's here now at the front, 3.9 watts per kilogram. Bullock now 3.5, 168 beats per minute. They're going to come into the bell lap here in just a moment. One lap to go the next time through. And Michael here, they've kept it within. They've kept it within a minute 30 actually as of this last lap. Kona Bear now making their way to the front. Nobody with any serious attacks just yet. K. Russell still in there as well. They were able to drop off one or two in the last. Whiteman had a dropout actually, I heard, from the Facebook. Actually, he actually came through and gave us a little bit of a comment saying she had some sort of a dropout. That's too bad, but make your way to the line there, Sonia. Great job out there. Great job continuing on, going in for the finish here. 2:29 back now at this point. Hammer it out, get that solo TT in, and get the workout in. That's what it's all about, pushing yourself forward in order to get better through this community of cyclists here. So now Joubert now, it looks like up at the front, right along with Michael and Billingsley now. It looks like they're all calming down, just looking for the sprint actually for this finish, not trying to pull anybody back. There is no worries actually amongst them. They know that the riders up front are not coming back, so it's going to be more Grupo Compacto at this point. These riders up the front, though, I believe are definitely going to start throwing down some attacks going into this bell lap. One lap to go for this PRL women's race out there. Prudential Ride London Classic ZA Zwift Academy race, introduction to the world of Zwift Academy here. 173 beats per minute now coming from Katrina Weiss now. I know she's got about 15 or so to work with. I think she maxes out right on that 190. Jansen here up at the front from the PTZ, 171 or so, has about 20 to work with as well. Bullock now 165 out of the USA. You can see Stratman here 261. We don't know any heart rates from her, and we don't see any past results from her really actually as well. So a couple of dark horses there, wild cards in and amongst the race here. Stratman, definitely unknown. Kessels, Weiss, Bullock, as well as it looks like Jansen, all in this league group. Neo is there as well for Team Japan, watching out for her. So looking through here in the C category, though, it does look like H. Cartwright now, as well as Comley, as well as Lavang, all still together. No serious attacks just yet. Maybe with a lap and a half to go as they make their way into the square one more time here, we will see some attacks here coming from either Watmore, Moose, Lavang, Comley, or Cartwright, the lead group in the C category here as they are heading into their final lap as well. Looking through for a little more of the interaction here. Darren Chenlet's viewers are so fragmented: Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and now Mixer. Surely better to have one place and one community to me. Darren, no, we'll have a conversation about that another time, but definitely not. I don't think so. I think it's best to be on all the places we possibly can. Martin Visser now, great to hear Nathan again, and it makes me want to jump on Zwift while it is summer. I'll give it a go tomorrow. Martin, that's absolutely awesome. Great to see you here over at the channel here for sure. Thanks a lot for tuning in, Martin, and hopefully we'll see you out on course actually tomorrow or throughout the week. We do have the full coverage actually. This was our past week actually. What we are usually covering right around this, we'll go ahead and release our coverage for next week, late Sunday night or early Monday morning. So make sure to always check that out over at ZwiftCommunityLive.com for all the events that we will be covering. Thea Freystad, good to see you hanging out at the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Thea does ride and lead a lot of the Zwift Academy rides actually, so be watching out for Thea. She did actually, I think, just recently launch can you link it for me actually, Thea? You're more than welcome to link your recent launch. I think it's Voom. I get correct me because I know I'm getting that wrong, but it looks like coaching programs. It looks like a little bit of an organization around that. She does a great job with a very well done informational ride lead actually, with a Discord channel that she actually interacts with the riders that are in her rides actually, and she does them. There it is, volume.fit. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Definitely go and check out volume.fit for all of the rides actually that they are doing live actually on Zwift with the Discord. So very well put together there. Riding for Team ODZ. And Thea definitely wanted to be a leader amongst the Zwift Academy. So Stratman here now, it looks like up toward the front, 4.1 watts per kilogram, trying to break things apart a little bit now, you can see, out of the US of A. Bullock now 3.9, as you can see. This is actually not a chill pace whatsoever. 4.1, 4.3, up into 5.0. That is definitely top level amongst the women, actually, if they're going to hold that foreign FTP all the way through. So Stratman here out of the USA really trying to turn the screws at the front, trying to break things apart. Now Weiss here 175, hanging in the group now, holding on to a few wheels, making her way to the front now, making sure she's not getting dropped off. Neo at the back now still 3.2, just sitting in all day long. Now we are seeing Johnson here from TTZ trying to hang on 176 beats per minute now. Everybody, definitely we're seeing these fluctuations over and over again. 2.5, 4.1, 2.5, 4.1. So definitely a little bit of jitters, half a lap to go. You definitely get those last lap jitters, a little bit of butterflies in the stomach, just like you do in real life. What's it going to come down to? Is it going to be a sprint? Is it not going to be a sprint? Will I be able to go when I want to go? You start making plans, and will those plans work out? And you get those jitters. You get that nervousness in the leg and in the stomach a little bit. Like, what is going to happen? And you start shaking out the legs, waiting for that last effort. Now 5.1, 5.2 watts per kilogram. The riders looking for a sprint are just going to look for a follow. The riders not wanting to sprint are going to be trying to break things apart with this last time up the climb, because this is the only moment that gravity really matters. The sprint, if it does come down to it, it's going to be about who's got 20 seconds of power all out. For those who got a high threshold, a high VO2 max effort, who are just a stronger rider for the duration of a longer effort, are going to want to go right now. Kessels now and Bullock, maybe the ones that want that now. We are seeing 6.5 watts per kilogram coming from Kessels out of the Netherlands now, really starting to happen. But here comes Weiss now, 7.9 watts per kilogram for Bullock now, up into 9. Actually, orange numbers now, throwing down 180 beats per minute out of the USA. Now, it's USA versus the Netherlands. We're seeing a power-up being thrown down for an aero power-up, actually, from Kessels for a moment there. Now, Weiss is getting away from Bullock now. The two riders out of the USA representing here. Jansen off the back by about 2 seconds. They're starting to get away now. They've got a little bit of gap, but now it looks like Kessel's able to hold on. Neil there trying to kick there to get back on terms, though, as you do see. Looking over the shoulder there is Weiss. Bullock, Kessels all together. Stratman now off the back. Jansen's off the back as well. PTZ unable to hang on. 182 beats per minute, trying to close it down. Neo is there, grabbing on the Stratman's wheel. Now Weiss, though, and it looks like Bullock and Kessel's got a 3-second gap. They're out, not out of sight, but they're out of reach right now. They got to close it down right now if they want to see them again. 21 meters is the difference. They have to work together, not allow the rest of the racers to get back on terms with them. It is 4.5 watts per kilogram. Now Neo making her way to the front, 5.2. It looks like Stratman now working with Neo to close this back down, but it looks like Johnson now 4 seconds back. Not going to see this group again as they start to walk away. 157 beats per minute here coming from Neo. Now Stratman now 5.8 at the front, trying to close this down. Weiss then 183. Really putting this effort in, not wanting to sprint finish, looks like, but it looks like Kessels and the rest are going to have to deal with the Japanese rider who has not lost a race, I believe, in the last few months, and going to have some raised eyebrows, but definitely going to just have to deal with that and deal with what's happening in the game. Just keep moving forward and work with it. Maybe have to be a battle for second with the crazy effort there from Neo right now. Stratman now 4.7 watts per kilogram, as you see, working her way to the front now, and 98 RPM. Now it's going to come into the final 1K. They got about half a K to go or so. Kessels now, Neo and Bullock. We are seeing CIS cycling here with Katrina now making her way to the front now on that Tron bike. And who's going to be the lead out train? It's usually not the smartest play to make, but now she was actually just positioning herself, I think, at the front, looking for the wheel that's going to lead her out. Bullock now making her way to the front, 5.9 watts per kilogram, 178 beats per minute here coming from her. Now Stratman ramping it up, 4.9. Bullock now 6.3. Now looking over the shoulder here, what's it going to be? Who's going to go first? We're looking for those orange numbers. We're looking for the sprint. Who's going to open up first? Stratman out the front. Bullock now going 8.6 watts per kilogram. Now we're seeing the aero power up, though, coming from one of the riders here. I'm not sure who it is, but now Katrina Weiss is going here. Here's the aero power up now, 7.9, 183 beats per minute, up and outside. But Bullock's got 9 watts per kilogram. It's Katrina, it's Bullock, it's Neo. Who's going to have it right at the line? It's going to be Neo, but Katrina's got the wheel there. It looks like it's Neo, followed by Weiss, and then Bullock across the line. What an effort between the riders. It will be Neo for first, Katrina Weiss for second, Bullock for third in the A category today. What a battle to the line. Katrina Weiss timed that just perfectly to hold on to the crazy robot rider there of Neo, who's just absolutely flying 172 beats per minute. Be watching out for her for sure for a win in the ZA once the verifications come through there. So Neo there, solid job to her. Katrina Weiss was second place, Bullock for third. I think, now to be totally honest, I've seen Katrina race many, many times. And I think that was tactically very, very well played by Katrina there. She was able to follow every wheel that she needed to and was able to get in with the front group and sprinted out there for the second place out there amongst them. Neo, I think, had it all day long. I think we kind of knew it was a foregone conclusion. So able to follow the wheels correctly there and take that second place. Nice job to Katrina Bullock there. Solid effort as well. Didn't time things completely perfect. She did do a lead out for the rest of the riders a little bit. Was able to get the taken advantage of a little bit there to the line. Now the sprint for, I believe it is seventh place, excuse me, out on course here, and it's going to be a kick there from Kona Bear as she's making her way to the line. Home Michael now up to the front. We are seeing it is going to be Home Michael, Kona Bear, Home Michael, Kona Bear. Who's going to take it? Nobody's got a sprint there. It looks like 100 meters to go. Up and out of the saddle. Here comes Kona Bear at the front. Takes the sprint over Joubert and then Jay Real across the line. Nice job between those women. We are seeing Jay Anchor. Who's this guy? The Real Country out of Denmark, hammering away 165 beats per minute. Okay, just showing up for the women's race. Just kidding. He's probably streaming right now. Go check out Mr. Cycling Hub over there. Probably hammering away for real. Wow, great to watch the girls. Sonia Inslee and Stain, so great. Exciting finish. Pat O'Neill says great finish. Kate Varnu, good to see Kate coming from Zwift, actually. Hammering out the ZA, working hard. Thanks a lot for letting us know about this race, Kate, and for tuning in. H-Cut right now here, 3.5 watts per kilogram, as you can see. This is for the C category. We still got a race to go. They're riding into the sunset, it looks like, out on Zwift. What a beautiful shot there, actually, as they're making their way to the line for the C category. It does look like they have not broken up any of this group, actually. Still lead group of 6 in the C category. One last climb, it looks like, into the square up through the hall now. And it looks like Levain now, 4.2, 4.6 watts per kilogram in the C category. Team Moose now trying to hang on. It looks like Levain, a little bit of a kick, 173 beats per minute. Doesn't get a gap, though. Still within the draft now. It is going to be Comley, Moose, and Watmore. So, awesome all. Hope to join next time, Beth Lar York. Hope that you do jump in for sure. Fun to watch. It looks like Aaron McMahon is saying, Rock, thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate you very much. Really hard to know where to go to follow the main chat, Darren is saying. I'm having to keep switching between them with 9 people on Twitch. Gotcha, Darren. Just jump on the platform that you enjoy watching the most. There's going to be all kinds of communities that are going to grow in all different places. With all esports, almost all of them are streaming on multiple platforms, actually, and as it grows and grows and grows, it's going to definitely be more of a crowd, how do you say, in an esports situation. As it grows and grows and grows, you have more of a stadium-like environment in chat that starts hyping things up a little bit more and more and more, and you get more of a mod situation where people are answering questions back and forth, and that's where Twitter is going to come in. If you want to get involved in the broadcast for messages to come across, for us to be able to pick them up, Twitter is going to be very important as this grows, because you can @Z Community Live, and I can pick that up very quickly as something is isolated from the chat, because chat is going to start just flying by the more that this grows. So definitely, if you're looking for chat integration, you're going to want to do that over at Twitter with a tweet @Z Community Live. Thanks for hearing this. Really well done. No problem, Aaron. Really appreciate you tuning in. Emma Cooper James is saying, just had to pull out a C group as my internet went down. I wasn't doing well, but I wanted to give it a try. Definitely jump out there again, Emma Cooper. Thanks a lot for jumping into the race, and I hope for better luck with the internet next time. Sorry to hear about the dropouts and mechanical out there. Hope to see you in some more races. Again, this is not the only ladies race that is out there. Definitely one that we're promoting and really putting a lot of effort into as an introduction to the Zwift Academy this year. But there's also ladies only races. And if you let us know that you are going to be jumping into the ladies race and you get some hype and some community around that amongst the women's community, I know there's a strong community of women out on Zwift. You let us know at ZCL that, hey, we're really planning on doing this race or that race and we're going to focus on whatever they are. You let us know. We'll get some coverage going of it, specifically of those women's races, especially going into the ZA. It's going to be really interesting to see where people are matching up against each other for the Zwift Academy. Looks like H. Cartwright with an attack here, actually, going into the last kilometer. She's getting away from the rest of the women, actually. She does have somebody on her wheel, but I don't think that she's actually a part of the C category race. It's interesting. There's a rider right on her wheel here, but not a part of the race with her. It looks like Kay Pearson. Is there going to be a sprint to the line? I'm not seeing her in the category with her here, though. So it looks like Cartwright is going to get away here and able to pull off the W, actually, amongst the race here. And it looks like Levain will be taking second place, followed by Jane Watworth. So it was able to be a breakaway now rather than a sprint for the finish in the C category today. Levain now 7 seconds back. Looks like Watmore's going to be settling for third place, followed by Comley there for fourth place out there today. So Cartwright here across the line for the win in the C category. Nice job to her. Levain now coming across the line for second, followed by Watmore, almost able to catch her, but will be taking third place on the day. Comley battling it out with, it looks like, Team Moose, 20 seconds back. We'll give her a ride on, and then Team Moose to the line for fifth place, I believe, out there today. Well done, Ace Racing. Very good to watch. Thanks a lot, Richard Scott. Thanks for tuning in. And Darren is saying, yeah, Twitch chat is insane when I'm watching Play Overwatch or something with 1,000 people watching. Impossible to follow sometimes. Yeah, Twitch chat essentially becomes a stadium environment, right? Like, you got so many people watching in a crowded stadium environment. You can't hear everybody. You just hear the cheering and the roar. That's what chat eventually when it comes to esports, for sure. So Pat O'Neill's got a great suggestion there about hardwiring the setup so that you don't get any kind of dropouts. Richard Scott says, very well, good to watch. Well done, Ace Racing, to all the riders. Thanks a lot for all your comments. Really appreciate that. And again, if you guys would like to tune in or would like to bring your comments or your setups or what your different kinds of pictures or whatever you would like to bring into the broadcast, make sure to tweet at ZCommunityLive, and we can bring that right on in to the broadcast. So that is the race today. We're going to go over the race results here. For some reason, my lower third there, after a couple of times of bringing it in, loses it. Johnny, if you're present, make sure to check that out. See some of the comments coming through over at the Mixer. Good to see all you guys tuning in over at Mixer. You need a trainer and a bike. Yep. Okay. Really cool. Especially if you know the people Jigga Deluxe is saying. Yeah. So it's a huge community, actually, really very tightly knit community, actually. A lot of those who have been in the Zwift world for quite a while. But yes, it is real people on real bikes. All you tuning in at Mixer and Twitch, it is actual real efforts going on. And this is the lead into the Zwift Academy. Actually, the PRL Provincial Ride London race out here that's going on in conjunction with the actual real World Tour race that's going on right now over in London. Looks like for the results, though, let's go ahead and bring those in, as we do have a desktop capture here for all you boys and girls out there watching. It looks like Neo, with a crazy effort there, 3.1 watts per kilogram is all she was holding the entire time with the sprint right at the end. Gonna need maybe some verification on the rider there, as she's been hammering, but nice job to her. We won't make too many assumptions, but Katrina Weiss timed things perfectly for that second place, followed by Allison Bullock. Nice job to the top three. Looks like fourth place going there to Flora Kessels, and then Sarah Stratman for her first race out on Zwift, according to Zwift Power. As you can see, each of the riders here, this is really cool. ZwiftPower.com does an amazing job. They have a link on their name, and if you click the link, it actually goes to all of their past results out on Zwift, actually. 14 races for Katrina Weiss. As you can see, today's race right here, that's second place, as well as all the other rides that she's done recently. So definitely a very, very great resource, ZwiftPower.com. So I go ahead and click on the live tab, and it's going to bring up the results. This is your top 5, 6th, 7th, and then 8th, 9th, and 10th Stephanie Michael. Let's go down to the C category then. B category, actually, okay, here we go with Helen Cartwright, followed by Amy Levong, and then Sarah Watmore, Liz Comley, and then Team Moose with coming across the line in 5th place. The B category is what it's being registered as. It was actually the C in game, but that's okay. So that is the results today. For those of you just tuning in, this was the intro there. It's worked that time. There we go. Nathan Guerra, that's who I am over at Z Community Live. We are live almost every day with community, highlighting the community out on Zwift. We are covering racing, riding, group rides, group workouts. This next week, we have the launch of a very, very cool introduction of a group workout feature that we will be having, I believe, on Wednesday. So be on a watch out for that full announcement of our partnership there. It's going to be an awesome, awesome introduction to a new personality out on the ZCL Zwift Community Live, so be watching out for that. And if you're unfamiliar with what the Zwift Academy is, here's a little introduction to what happened with it last year and why this is such an important intro to the racing and riding out on Zwift for the Zwift Academy.
Last year, Zwift Academy opened its doors, launching a groundbreaking worldwide talent search to find the next pro rider for Canyon SRAM racing. The competition exceeded all expectation. Over 1,200 women from 51 countries signed up to take the challenge in Zwift. In a truly grand finale, on the island of Majorca at Canyon SRAM's training camp, Leah Thorvaldsen of Little Rock, Arkansas, was crowned 2016 Zwift Academy champion and the newest member of Canyon SRAM Racing. This year, it could be you.
Oh wow, I could have a shot at a pro contract, but it's for anyone. It's a huge step forward in your own fitness, and so it's not all just about the one person who's going to get a pro contract. It's a win for everyone who's involved.
Zwift Academy is this great program where Zwift is trying to get the women more involved. It's just this huge, to me, a great community. There's women coming up going, I get how this could fit into my life.
What I think is so nice about Zwift Academy, I really think that it was inspiring lots of women to take part in this adventure. Maybe they've gone far beyond their own expectations.
How far I got in Zwift, there were 1,200 females that joined, and there were 100 females that finished Zwift, and I can't believe I was one of them.
Yes, it's hard. Come on, you can do it, you know, just do your best. Because it's not just the physical side, it's the determination and to boost your confidence in anything else you do, not just cycling.
Find out how strong you really are. Find new friends from around the world. Find out if you have what it takes to go pro.
Do not wait, just follow your dreams.
Be the best cyclist you can be. Head over to academy.zwift.com to find out more and sign up today.